Today, watching a movie takes only a few seconds. You open an app, choose a title, press play, and instantly, thousands of movies are available. It feels normal now. But for most of history, watching a movie was very different. You couldn't watch whatever you wanted whenever you wanted. In fact, there was a time when the only way to see a movie was to leave your house and go to a theater. Then came home video. Then came Blockbuster. And for a brief moment in history, movie night became an experience that millions of people shared. This is the story of how Blockbuster changed the way we watched movies and why it disappeared. For decades, movies belonged to theaters. If a new film was released, there was only one place to see it. The cinema. Families bought tickets, sat in crowded auditoriums, and watched movies on the big screen. Once a movie left theaters, most people simply waited for television broadcasts. There was no way to build a personal movie collection. No shelves full of films. No movie nights at home. The idea sounds strange today, but that was normal life for generations. Then everything changed. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, VCRs started appearing in homes. For the first time, people could watch movies whenever they wanted. This was revolutionary. But there was a problem. Movies on VHS tapes were expensive. Buying a single movie could cost a significant amount of money. Many families couldn't afford to build large collections. So a new business appeared: movie rentals. Instead of buying a film, customers could rent it for a short period and return it later. The idea exploded. Small rental stores began opening everywhere. And suddenly, movie night became something people could bring home. But these stores had problems. Many were small. Selections were limited. Popular movies were often unavailable. And every store operated differently. Customers never knew what to expect. That created an opportunity. In 1985, a businessman named David Cook noticed something. Movie rentals were becoming popular. But the experience was inconsistent. One store might have the movie you wanted. Another might not. Some stores were organized. Others felt chaotic. Cook believed there was a better way. His idea wasn't to reinvent movies. It was to improve the rental experience. Using technology and inventory systems, he believed a store could offer more movies, better organization, and a more reliable experience for customers. That idea became Blockbuster. The first store opened in Dallas, Texas, and customers immediately noticed something different. The store was larger, brighter, more organized, and it offered far more titles than many local competitors. What started as a single store quickly attracted attention. Blockbuster wasn't the first video rental store, but it became the biggest. The question is why? Part of the answer was selection. Customers wanted choices. Blockbuster offered thousands of titles. New releases, classics, children's movies, comedies, action films. The store felt less like a local shop and more like a movie library. Another advantage was consistency. Whether customers visited one store or another, the experience felt familiar. The shelves were organized. Movies were easy to find. And inventory systems helped track what was available. As more locations opened, the company expanded rapidly. Soon, Blockbuster stores were appearing across the country. And for many families, a new weekend tradition was beginning. By the 1990s, Blockbuster had become part of weekly life. Blockbuster stores followed a familiar pattern every Friday evening. Cars would pull into parking lots. Families would walk inside together. The first thing they saw was rows of movie covers. Brightly lit shelves stretching across the store. People didn't rush. One of the most important parts of the experience was something that doesn't exist anymore: discovery. Today, algorithms recommend what to watch. Back then, people discovered movies by accident. A cover caught their attention. A title looked interesting. Or a film happened to be sitting next to the one they originally came for. Many people rented movies they had never heard of simply because they found them while browsing. The shelves themselves became the recommendation system. Pick something else. That moment of disappointment was common. But it was normal, because that was part of movie night. Once a movie was chosen, it was taken to the counter, paid for, and brought home like something valuable for the night. While Blockbuster stores were busy, a different idea was slowly forming in the background. A company called Netflix started with a simple concept. Instead of going to a store, movies could be delivered in small red envelopes, by mail. At first, it didn't feel like a replacement for Blockbuster. It felt like a different option. No walking through aisles, no browsing shelves, just a disc arriving at your door. Some people tried it out, but most still preferred the store experience. Because the store wasn't just about getting a movie. It was about choosing it. Inside Blockbuster, the system was still working. Stores were busy. Rentals were strong. The model was still profitable. But outside the stores, people's habits were slowly shifting. They wanted less effort, less planning, less dependence on physical visits. At first, this change was small, almost invisible, but it was steady. As internet access improved, the idea of waiting began to feel unnecessary. Waiting for availability, waiting for returns, waiting for trips to the store. People started preferring instant access. For the first time, convenience was starting to beat experience. Renting a movie used to involve a trip, a decision, and a return visit. Digital entertainment removed all three. What once felt like part of movie night was beginning to feel like an extra step. Slowly started losing its place. One by one, visits to rental stores decreased. The aisles that were once crowded became quieter. Over time, Blockbuster locations started closing. Not all at once, but gradually, one store after another. The familiar blue and yellow signs began disappearing from streets.
Well, there were only a few left, but this week, Blockbuster announced it is shuttering 300 remaining stores and ending its mail order service.
With competition from digital streaming and Redbox, video stores have become a thing of the past. But
where there used to be shelves of movies, there were empty rooms. The change didn't feel sudden in daily life. It felt gradual, but when looked at over time, it was complete. Today, almost all Blockbuster stores are gone. But one still exists. In Bend, it still looks like the past. Shelves, movie covers, a familiar layout that hasn't changed much. People visit it not because they need to rent movies, but because they remember what it felt like. A time when choosing a movie was part of the experience. When Friday nights had a place you could go to. And when watching a film started long before pressing play. Today, everything is faster. Movies are instant, available everywhere. But the process that came before is what many people still remember. Not just the movies themselves, but the act of choosing them,